Birth control.
You got a favorite birth control method?
I have an IUD.
My man.
Why'd you fist bump me for that? Why'd you fist bump me for that? Hello, everyone. Welcome to our third episode of We Were Fighting Before This.
Are you giving an interview?
You told me to do this, and now you're criticizing me.
Yeah, with a little more warmth, Yvonne.
Just give you a fucking middle finger right now, and then I'll give you some warmth.
Are you still on your period?
It's at the tail end of it. It's gone. It's almost gone.
How long do periods last for women?
Maybe like 5 to 7 days, depending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when are you the angriest? Is it before it starts or at the end?
Before. So one time we were in Among Us game.
Can I go a week without someone saying the words Among Us?
But you're the Among Us guy.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway. So when I started noticing it was I was in an Among Us game. I got voted out. I got emotional. I felt like I was going to cry. But the thing is, I normally don't care if I get voted out. And that's when I felt like, oh, maybe my period is coming because I am feeling more turbulent emotionally. And I was right. And then that's when I started noticing, oh, if my emotions are very heightened, that it's coming.
We went to the movie theaters once.
Mm-hmm.
And you just started crying for no reason before we got into the theater. And initially, I felt really bad because I thought I said something. But then you told us that you don't know why you're crying. But you were on your period. That made a lot of sense. You're an emotional crier on your period.
I am. Yeah, I cried last night.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't understand women anatomy very much.
Uh-huh.
But after the period comes the ovulation.
To be honest, I don't even really know.
How long have you been a woman?
Yeah.
Long time. So you're not familiar with ovulation?
Okay, so I know when I'm ovulating.
Like, what are the signs?
Oh, you start feeling really horny.
And does that come before the period or after the period?
I feel like I feel it before or during. I don't know, which is really bad timing if it's during. Chelsea?
So let's say you get your period on the 30th or 1st, you should be ovulating around the 15th, and then you get your period again on the 30th. So you really shouldn't be having sex around the 15th.
Because that's when you're most susceptible to pregnancy. So you guys have like a week of being in pain and a week of being horny out of 4 weeks.
I don't know when that hits, to be honest. I just feel it and I assume I'm ovulating. Yeah.
What is ovulation? It's when, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, the eggs in your tummy gets released out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then during that period, if you combine, two things together, something from the girl, the eggs, and something from the guys, boom, baby.
We're having the baby talk right now.
That's why you should not have sex during ovulation if you don't want to have kids. Yes?
Yeah, or just use birth control.
You got a favorite birth control method?
I have an IUD.
My man.
Why'd you fist bump me for that? Why'd you fist bump me for that? What?
Well, let's intro the art piece this week. I brought a
crazy segue.
A painting of the area Dunmoreau, which is like a space in World of Warcraft, an area, a zone as they call it. And this is where I first started playing World of Warcraft with my brother. We started gnome characters and wanted to be just like him. So he made a gnome mage called Frostiness. And I was like, I want to be just like you. And I made a fire mage called Fieriness. And we would explore the zone of Dunmoreau together. And this is an art piece of it.
Wow. That was awfully beautiful.
Thank you. Family does mean a lot to me.
Yeah?
Coming from an Asian background.
Okay. Well, that is true.
How's your relationship with your family? I never hear you talk about them.
This is funny. I was seeing a guy before, and then his parents were able to deduct that I don't talk to my dad because all I talked about was my mom. So, well, yeah, I haven't talked to my dad in like 10 years, I think. No, maybe even longer. I don't know. But I go back home to visit my mom a lot.
Where's your dad?
I have no idea. But my mom told me the other day randomly that he has like property for me in Thailand that he wants to leave for me in his will. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm low key like mad at my dad, but that's why I haven't bothered reaching out or talking to him in a long time.
Oh. Wait, I didn't know this about your dad.
You didn't know this?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think many people do. I don't think I really talk about it.
Oh.
Yeah. But I don't mind talking about it. I just I feel like it's just been like away for so long and there's never a reason to bring it up. So I actually kind of forget about it for a really long time until something comes up.
Did your parents separate?
Yeah. So, oh my God, are we getting the lore of it?
Yeah. I feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, it will get heavy. I will warn you if you guys are ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start from when I was a wee child, okay? Wee child Yvonne. Very close to both my parents, but mainly my dad. My dad was good cop. My mom was bad cop. And my dad was kind of like how I would describe my hero growing up. So he would be the fun dad who would bring me toys from fast food places as a surprise all the time. He was cool. He would like play basketball with me after elementary. When I was in elementary school, after school, he would come and bring like a cooler of root beer and play basketball with all my friends. So all my friends loved him. And then we would have field trips. Why do I feel I'm out of breath?
Yeah, take your breath. Take a moment.
Okay. And then we would have field trips. And then he had a couple times where he volunteered to be kind of like the parent overseer of the group. And then a lot of my friends would want to be in that group, in our group. And so he was very well liked. And he also could communicate very easily because he learned English quite fast since immigrating here. For my birthdays, he would always make them a really big deal. So he would invite all my friends to parties that he would host at like Chuck E. Cheese, at my house. He hired a clown. It was like a big thing every year. I can't tell if I'm nervous, but we got a computer. We moved into a new house. And then on the new computer, I downloaded this program called ICQ. Do you remember ICQ?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a messenger, MSN messenger of some sort, just one of the versions, one of the earlier ones. And then I remember downloading it because I wanted to either talk to my friends or meet new friends. And then my dad started using it. And then he basically started talking to, I don't even know if I remember this correctly, but he basically started talking to like women from China over it. Yeah. And then he had at some point wanted to fly over. And then my mom, I remember them fighting all the time. My mom obviously is like, oh, hell no type of thing. And then over time, I don't know how he did it, but he basically convinced her to let him go once or something like that. And then he went, obviously he cheated on her, was not okay. And you would think at the age I would blame myself because I was the one who probably downloaded ICQ or whatever it was. But I was already mad at him. Like I knew that it was not like my responsibility as a kid, but like you as an adult to not cheat on your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then so over time, I would show a lot of frustration towards him. Like if he asked me to help him with something, I'd just be like giving him attitude as I'm doing it. And then he would complain to my mom that I'm giving him attitude. And I remember over time it got worse. My mom and him would just fight a ton. And then I remember one year, my dad told me, he's like, oh, I'm like gonna go to China and I won't be here for your birthday. And I remember sitting in the car like crying, like sobbing because I don't know, maybe like grieving some parts that I still liked about him. I'm not really sure exactly what it was, but and then the fights between him and my mom just got worse and worse. And my mom stayed in the relationship because she wanted to get property and like secure, I guess, the monetary stuff in the divorce or separation for me. And it got to the point where I would hear her yelling, and then I would hear aftermaths of what I would assume be him like hitting her. And then I remember she would make me take pictures of her bruises and stuff in case we ever wanted to, in case she ever needed to bring it to court or something like that. And then this memory is super ingrained in like the back of my mind, where I remember I was like on the computer and then in my room, and my parents were fighting again, and then I hear my mom screaming for my name, and I knew that he had like laid his hands on her or something. I run out because I know the instant I run out, he wouldn't want me seeing that he's like doing that type of stuff. So I ran out, and I see him over her, like hands on her neck over our dining table. And he just like stopped as soon as I came out and walked away as if nothing happened. And it was weird that just was something that was glazed over almost. Like we didn't talk about it. It was just something that happened, and I knew it wasn't right. I remember thinking about things in my head like, do I have to go to the police? Like, what do I have to do? And thankfully they separated soon after that. He had a machine shop, so he would just sleep at his shop, and then over time they just stopped living together. The last time I kind of talked to my dad was he took me out to dinner at like a sushi restaurant and gave me this very light spiel of why him and my mom didn't work out. And something along the lines of, it was difficult, we didn't communicate well, some bullshit in my opinion. And he told my mom after that dinner that he apologized to me. And I was just like, he didn't apologize that whole dinner. It just sounded like he wasn't taking accountability, was just saying, oh, things don't work out, shrug. And yeah, I don't know. But I took a bit to grieve it. And then so many years have gone by that I've almost like, oh, it's chill. But he was someone that actually, oddly enough, shaped a lot of who I was in my earlier years, because he was the one who taught me to be considerate of others. Like I remember at family dinners, like I loved talking to him, and he would just be like, oh yeah, like you should be really thankful for what you have, and like you should be considerate of other people who maybe don't have as much, or all this kind of stuff. So it was very contradicting to how he went from someone who I looked up to a lot to someone who like went so downhill.
How old were you when all of this went down?
It happened for so many years. I feel it started from when I was in grade 7, because that was when we moved, and they didn't separate until university.
Oh, wow. So that's like 5-6 years of it, right?
Yeah, and everything happened very gradual and would like escalate very gradually.
And you haven't talked to him for the last 10 years?
I don't think so. I feel like he might stalk my... Well, I didn't even think that I would have a job that's so online now.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't like when I would swear. Anytime I had a friend who would swear, he would be like, delete that friend on MSN Messenger. And I'm like on the internet. Everything. I don't know. I feel like he might just watch my life online. But he has maybe tried emailing me once, but then I didn't even think to reply. I remember a sad thought that I had was I went to a wedding, and I saw like the bride and her father, obviously very close, very happy. He's like walking her down the aisle. And I remember thinking like, I don't think I'd want my dad walking me down the aisle. Like when I think of my wedding, I imagine it to be like you or Skara walking me down. I don't think of my dad.
Will he get an invite?
I don't know. So I had this thought recently because for a really long time I didn't think about him at all. But I had a thought that, like, would I ever want to talk to him again? I think I would, just to not really yell at him, but sort of kind of tell him how I felt at the time and how I feel like he didn't take any accountability, but it wouldn't really matter that much ultimately. Like, I don't think it would change how I feel about him.
When he left, did he tell you, oh, this is probably goodbye for a long time?
No, I don't think he viewed it that way. I think he just viewed it as like, oh, they're separating. I see you when I see you type of thing. I guess I don't even remember because it's so long ago, but we didn't really talk about it.
He just kind of left.
Yeah, but I also wasn't very like warm to him because it's not that, like at times I did feel bad. So I would still talk to him normally, but I also had moments where I would just kind of do the typical child thing of being annoyed when your parents are asking you for help on something. But I think he's tried reaching out in some ways, but maybe I just don't remember. And also didn't care to. I think I remember him trying to call me, and then I just didn't pick up. I feel pretty fine. Like, I never think about it on a day-to-day. I just think, oh, it must be nice to have like a good relationship with your dad, but I have a good relationship with my mom now, and that's very sufficient to me as well. If anything, now I actually treat my mom as best as I would like to, so that to make up for the years of trauma and damage I felt like my dad did to her.
I did see a previous video of you giving your mom a designer bag, and I thought that was so sweet.
Well, it meant a lot because I remember my dad would give my mom a lot of crap for buying anything. I remember another really vivid memory I have is my mom bought like a pair of pants, and my parents back then were pinching every penny, you know? So she bought a pair of pants. It was probably like $20, and they got in a fight over it. And I just remember her going to the porch crying and cutting up the pants after their fight. And, or going to like Louis Vuitton. And then my mom they would always just go and look and stuff, but they would never buy it. I remember one time my mom finally did buy one, but it was so many years ago. And so I just wanted to like buy her something nice. Like, I feel like she should spoil herself because she's been pinching every penny for me. She's like, I saved this house for you. She like went through everything to try to like bargain for every dollar so that I would have more in the future, and like basically stayed with him so many years so that she could fight for me, basically. It wasn't like she needed that much money. Yeah.
How's your mom these days?
She's good. She's just like aging, so she has some things that she's like, oh, my back is starting to hurt, or like she has to do, her health isn't always good because she had a miscarriage before and after me. So her whole life she's kind of had like a weaker health or body type of thing.
From what I hear, we have a lot of friends that are, Asian with Asian parents that have relationships or marriages that are just kind of like they don't really talk about their issues in a very healthy way or communicate in a constructive manner. And then I always wonder, like, is that just a cultural thing or is it something we don't talk about? Because even I have trouble talking about, like, when I'm fighting with my like SO, if I'm seeing someone, of like being able to always rationally solve the problem or communicate our issues in a way that the outcome is better, or is it just like fighting for the sake of fighting? And it's something I never quite figured out. Because it's not really something that happens a lot, especially in Asian marriages where it feels like divorce is a not as common thing compared to like Western culture.
Yeah, because back then they didn't have that many options. For one, you don't have like a internet of people that you could tap into. It was mainly who you grew up around, your vicinity, and then when you have kids, you don't want to put your kids through that. I've heard of my friend's parents where he felt really guilty that him and his brother were the reason why his mom never divorced his dad, and that he felt like he stopped her from happiness and a bunch of things. So there's just so many layers to it. Now I think people obviously strive more for like, you know, self-fulfillment, self-happiness, and promote that a lot more. But back in the day, it was kind of like sacrifice everything for your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even back in the day, you kind of, like you said, have the people you know. And it's like, well, you're good enough. I'm good enough. Like, we can get married and have children, and that's going to be our life. And nowadays, it's like there's so many people out there. There's so many options. Like, if you don't like this person, you can try things out with that person. But I also know back then for, you know, women, because they were kind of expected to be the housewife, the mother, you kind of get stuck in that life. Like, you already have kids. You didn't pursue an education because you were raising kids. So you're kind of not forced, but like beholden to the man, and the man can kind of just do whatever. Like, unfortunately, like sometimes hit you, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to leave, right? Thankfully, now it is getting a little better. Like, women can kind of be independent and not say, well, you're going to provide for me, so I'm going to marry you. Like, you can marry for love, essentially. Yeah, I'm sorry you went through all that. I didn't know all of that.
Yeah. This was my first time telling toast too. I think I never said anything for a long time, but it's just something that's really heavy. I don't think you normally bring that up in like a chill setting, like, hey, you're hanging out, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, here's like my years of family trauma. But I think I handled it decently well. I think for some, I don't know, maybe I do. If I talk to a therapist, maybe it'd be like, you have some deep rooted blah blah blah. But I think over the years I've like dealt with it even during.
Do you think this is why when I yell, you have such a visceral reaction to it?
No, I think it's because it's our dynamic. But I think something that I realize is I do have like a bit of a scare when it comes to sudden, loud, or like aggressive, violent sounds or actions. And interestingly enough, almost every guy I've dated in a way has like, not every guy, but like they've had some type of violent thing too. I remember like my first boyfriend we were fighting once, and I just was giving him silent treatment, and then he took my mouse and threw it against the wall, and then he like threatened to break my laptop. It was crazy. And then people we live with, not live with back then, but like, you know.
I mean, I know the instance you're talking about, which was one of the houses where one of our friends was upset about something and then slammed a gate shut and then punched a wall.
He punched the gate, and then he slammed the cupboard so hard it broke off the cupboard door, and I was standing right there watching everything. And then you yelled at him for doing that in front of me. Yeah.
I definitely had those moments of wanting to do that. It's usually, I can only speak for myself as a guy who doesn't have emotional releases in a healthy cadence, that sometimes, I have a lot of emotion right now. How do I convey that like intense feeling? Well, I've never really figured out how to do it in a normal kind of way, like
a healthy way.
Healthy way. It's like, okay, I'm gonna signal I'm really intense and emotional right now, and the best way I know to do that is to like physically do something, not hit anyone, because we know that's wrong, but like punch a wall or like break something, and it's, don't do that. But it's usually a sign of like, bro, you got to figure out a way to convey your emotions healthily, because this is not okay, and it's scary.
Yeah, like, it scares me every time. Yeah. Like even someone that I had been with, I remember we would get into fights, and then it would be so intense for him that he would self-harm. Not because he didn't want to harm, he's not trying to do something. And then so like that, I don't know how to handle that, and that scares me. And then there are other times where they would hit something, and that also scared me. And then I remember trying to tell them like, hey, like it scares me when you do that. Like especially when it's so quick and loud and everything. Like it's like I feel like a normal person would too, but I get especially startled quite easily.
All right, Yvonne, for the rest of this podcast, I'm going to be nice to you.
Oh, you feel bad now?
That story earned you 40 minutes of niceness.
What? 40 minutes? That's
your
it?
generational trauma buys you 40 minutes of niceness.
That is insane.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely got on the luckier side. One thing about me that you may know is when I talk about emotions, I cry. Fun fact, Chelsea. Yeah. Doesn't matter what I'm talking about. If it's anything related to feelings, I start crying.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm the same. So there are times where it's me and I'm crying, and then or it's him and he's crying, or we're both like looking to we're about to cry.
But I would say I got pretty lucky with my family. As far as Asian families go, it's not perfect like most families aren't. The biggest thing is, my dad and mom are kind of like not on great terms, but they live together and they still care about each other, but they don't really acknowledge each other, which, as far as Asian marriages go,
Maybe not on the worst end of the spectrum.
yeah, that's a solid
Yeah.
B- in my book. But I have a brother and a sister that are great people.
He's like, it's not even that sad. Why
Not even a sad thing. They're just great people. They're just great people. And
You know
taught
what?
me a
At
lot.
least you cry is your emotional exertion, I feel, versus punching a wall.
Yeah, they're just great people, and I am very fortunate on that front. Ooh, that's enough emotional sharing for me today.
This thing lasted like 2 seconds.
They're great people. But yeah, generational trauma. I don't think I really suffer from it. Because my parents were always really good to their kids. Well, yeah, they were. My mom pushed me down the stairs once because I lost my iPod Touch. You know what's funny? I told this story, and she messaged me, and this was like 4 months ago. She messaged me like, "I'm so sorry, son. I didn't mean that." It's like, Mom, it's okay. It was like 15 years ago. And it was, iPod Touches, for those who don't know, were pretty expensive back then.
Yeah.
And someone stole it from me. I don't know who. I left it in the gym. And then when I came back, it was gone. I did not want to tell my mom. And eventually she found out because I didn't like bring my iPod Touch home. And she was like, "You lost it, didn't you?" And then bam. And then I left home that day and slept at the school gymnasium.
What? You ran away from home?
Yeah, I'm like, this is sad. I don't like this. And I just ran away. And my sister tried to get me home, so she tried chasing me for a little bit. So I just sprinted like 6 miles to the school.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were having like a fundraiser event that week where like the school stays open. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stay here. And my brother picked me up and took me to McDonald's at 5 a.m. because I texted him and said, "I'm ready to come home now." But aside from that, my mom's pretty nice to me. And my dad's pretty nice to me too.
Do you feel like they were able to talk about their feelings with you, or still not really like a thing?
No. There's not a lot of communication like on feelings with the parents. Because honestly, I don't know if they even know how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
My sister did suggest that we should make my mom take shrooms once. Just to like get her to like kind of ease her anxiety. I'm like, I don't know. Should we lace or tea or shrooms. But nah,
Crazy.
they don't talk about feelings, and I do wonder if drugs will help like people who have harder times coming to terms to what they're feeling to be able to express that. Because a lot of Asian people go to raves. Like you go to EDC or like a set. I'll be honest, it's like 40%, 50% Asian, and they all play Valorant too, by the way. And to me, it's like they do like the feels good drug, and then they start crying, talking about their feelings. Yeah, I never get to talk my feelings because I was raised in an Asian household, and it's like years of repression literally comes out like with the music going. But not to advocate for doing drugs, and I would never do drugs because I'm a CEO of an esports org. But if I did take drugs, I would say some that have been helpful. They won't be life changing. Like a lot of people think, oh, drugs is gonna change your life and you get addicted to it.
I think it depends. One is it's life changing for some people in terms of like they were very different before personality wise, and it makes them be very, chill out. I've seen it chill out some people. But I also have seen, it could be the extreme where they get addicted to it, people with addictive personalities and stuff. Or if that's why I always warn people, kind of like if you feel like you're in a really, really bad place, the solve probably is not to take drugs, because then that just feels like it's the light for you, and then you rely on it.
What drugs have you taken?
I'm,
Hey, okay, how about this? We play the drug ping pong game. You say one drug, I'll say another. I'll start. I've taken weed before.
Yeah, I've taken weed before too.
You can't do weed. You can't do one. I already did.
I don't like it though. Oh, acid.
How was acid?
I don't like acid.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I almost like never take it because it makes me super, super anxious. And I just can't deal with that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm somebody who really likes being able to take care of people or be in control. And it does the complete opposite of that, where you're kind of like maybe like let loose, or you enjoy the environment. I'm kind of like, I don't like feeling so weighted.
Yeah, you feel heavy.
Yeah.
I've taken acid before. I've taken it twice. The first time I was like, I'm scared. I don't want to like trip out, man.
You were funny because you were the one person that it took forever to do anything. Like we tried so hard because we're like, you know what? This could help you help us.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of raised with that drugs are bad mentality, and drugs are bad.
Yeah.
But life gets really boring sometimes. Yeah, I did acid twice. The first time I just took a little bit, and that wasn't great because it's like you don't feel anything, you just feel a little strange. And the second time I took like an okay amount, and that one went a little better, but it's like you said, your body just feels heavy, and you have to really be okay with not being fully in control. Like you can still do things, but it's like you're dragging your hand up.
It just always had what felt like a heavier effect on me than other people that I've seen. It's just my chest feels like it's weighted, and I don't know, it riddles me with anxiousness that I normally otherwise wouldn't have.
Well, I've only taken 3 kinds of drugs in my life. I'm not very adventurous. Some of my friends do ketamine and cocaine. I'm like, dang, you guys are hardcore.
Yeah. It's too intense. You gotta draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, and I draw the line at Molly. Which I don't really like taking that often. It's like a once every year and a half thing for me. And that one makes you feel more open to talking to other people.
Yeah.
But also not that great. Hey, go ahead, Chelsea.
If your kids came to you asking to do drugs in 20 years, what would you say?
I mean, for me, it's like yes or no. I feel like if they were going to do it, they're going to do it. If you say no, they're just going to find a way to do it without you knowing. It's always like, hey, be safe. Don't get pressured. Be with people you trust. Here's my phone. Like, just call me if you need anything.
I would definitely tell them they get the drugs tested. That's number one, because oftentimes they can be laced with something. And then that's how one of my friends' relatives like passed away too, is because it was laced. And it's just like To said, like they're going to do it regardless. So it's just, I would rather they feel like safe that they can call me or go to me if they need anything.
You don't want to promote it.
Yeah.
But if it does happen, you want to make sure they can talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And then if they get addicted, that's a whole other problem.
How do we talk about drugs?
Oh, because I said Asian people use it as a way to like emotionally get through their generational trauma of bottling emotions up. Therapy. I have been thinking about getting therapy.
You should.
Because why do you say that? You think I need it?
Yeah.
Okay, well now I'm not gonna get it.
Why? Just because I'm saying it? That's so spiteful. I'm saying it to you as like someone who could it could benefit anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, including me, but not especially me.
Not especially you. Including you.
What? There was a pause.
I'm trying to say in a way that you would accept it and you would do it, and you would not do it if I said especially you.
Do you get therapy?
I did before, once upon a time, during a period of time in my life where it was very intense emotionally. So I've had it twice, but I feel like the people that I've seen were not very helpful. The most helpful sessions I've ever gotten, I felt personally, was with Dr. K. And I don't even know if that's exactly labeled as therapy, some might say, but that felt like the most closest thing for me. I felt like a deep tissue massage. And then, because I don't want someone to validate me. I don't want someone to be like, yeah, it makes sense. You could be feeling that way. Or what they give is not extremely helpful. I want someone to like really dig in and be like asking me questions and then being like, you might be feeling this way because blah, blah, blah. And like something that is new that I can receive and absorb. Because the best way I would describe it is, for my Dr. K sessions, I didn't even know I was feeling those feelings until he prompted a lot out of me. Yeah.
I think it's super dependent on the therapist you end up with, right? Because I don't know if I could. Well, I don't know what my preferred therapist would be. Because I might think, oh, should I get an Asian guy just because he's an Asian guy? He probably knows what I'm talking about. But I've always felt like more safe around like if the therapist was female and she can be more emotionally supportive. But is that what's best for me? And I think I would have to go and meet with therapists and ask. You have
to go shopping.
Go shopping for therapists. And it's kind of like an interview, meeting, date type thing. How'd you find your therapist?
I think they were just recommended here and there, but they didn't really hit for me. So I think a therapist is just someone you just gotta have a lot of, unfortunately, like you said, it's kind of like interviews with. You have to just go through and find somebody that you feel like actually makes progress with you, for you, in the way that you like.
Do you think you need therapy now?
I don't think so. I think I could, but it's more of a time thing for me at this point versus like how effective it could be. I think if I was going through something very difficult, like if I was grieving something, that would help a lot. But on a day-to-day, I feel like I'm pretty okay. And don't tell me that I need therapy.
I didn't say that. The fact that you said that preemptively
shows it's because there. It's you.
It shows there's something there. Okay.
Yeah, you.
Do you think we need relationships therapy? You and I.
Like a therapist to analyze? Yes, I would love that. Because you know what you need? Like when we go and play a League of Legends game, you're like, I need a challenger player to see if what you're doing is right or wrong, blah, blah, blah. I need a therapist to come in and tell you that the way you said, "Oh, no Celsius today," is actually kind of like was insinuating something, or like sounded like you were.
You're the kind of person that would go to a therapist and try to win them over on your side, even though there are no sides.
No.
Okay,
Why do I need
kiss,
to win them over?
You would try and kiss up to the therapist to turn them against me as part of your
no
whole
need.
victim
They would
mentality.
just simply observe, and
They
could
will
see all the
observe
problems
and
that
point out
is
how
right here next to me in this
aggressive
chair.
You are to me for no reason, and how you're the one reading into what I'm saying.
No reason. I come in the morning, full face, beat with makeup, and you say,
about this. We talked
you
about
look-
this episode. What?
"Yeah, we did."
Yeah,
and you're like, "You look like you haven't slept."
Yeah, you want to bring up the thing that upset you today about the Celsius, where all I walked in after 2 weeks. By the way, I'm sponsored by Red Bull. Okay, so every time you show up with the Celsius, I'm like, all right, whatever, man.
It's not on camera.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is a Red Bull house. You show up with your Celsius, week 1, week 2. You then show up with it week 3. I'm like, oh, no Celsius? And do you want to know why I bring that up?
He did not say it like that, by the way.
You want to know why I bring that up? Because last 2 weeks, you brought your Celsius and you spilled it on the floor each time.
It's because the tables don't. I don't do it on purpose.
Okay.
The
You're
mics
2
weigh
for
it
2
down.
on Celsius spilling in my house. So when you showed up without Celsius, I noticed. Okay. Nothing to spill this week,
I
Yvonne?
brought my matcha latte.
You were right, though. I said it in a condescending tone because I was going to say, well, at least my floors are going to be clean this time.
See, when he says these things, he's like trying to set it up or provoke something. He's trying to make a joke. And that's when I hear it right away. And I'm like, this guy is being snarky. And then he argues with me saying, I'm just making conversation. It's not snarky. And now you admit it.
Yeah, only because I care about you. Look, gaslighting is a very nuanced skill to master, and I'm constantly practicing it. But I don't want you to actually think I am gaslighting you. That's why I'm coming clean right now. Yes, you were right. But for a period of time, I made you doubt yourself and feel like you're the bad guy. Okay? Men, take note. These are great tips for relationships.
Hey, you ever gaslight someone in a relationship?
Not on purpose, which I feel like is what most gaslighters say. Like, no, okay. If you're a reasonable human man, you're not going through a relationship and doing something wrong and thinking, yeah, I'm going to gaslight. I'm going to do something wrong. I'm going to trick her. It's usually you want to express yourself and them to feel a certain way, but you just don't know how to do it in a healthy manner. I'm making myself sound really bad right now. I don't.
I think people get it.
Get what?
What you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're not maliciously trying to gaslight, but you have gaslighted.
What does it mean to gaslight? Okay. I don't think I've gaslighted or like try to make the girl feel like you're crazy. I will say
you've even gaslighted me as a friend. I don't want it. I don't.
When did I gaslight you?
Just now.
I said that was a joke. Okay. I did do this thing that I read later online of people doing and said, oh yeah, you shouldn't do that because that's kind of like emotionally manipulative, which was I want someone to like do something, or I'm giving them advice, or I'm trying to convince them of my character. Or okay, let's say I hurt someone, and I would say I didn't mean it because I genuinely didn't mean it, and it was like, well, why would I do something like that? Like you're, my best friend, and I love you. And that kind of like an emotional like manipulation thing, or like a conditional thing. It's like, oh, well, he loves me, so that means he wouldn't do anything to hurt me.
Yeah.
But that's not it. Like sometimes you do something to hurt someone. It doesn't matter if you love them or like what your relationship is. You shouldn't use that as a way to kind of like, well, it's okay because I love you, so I don't know why.
Or you should trust that I wouldn't because I love you.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't do that to you.
yeah. It's like when you imagine you're saying it genuinely, like, I do love you. Like, I don't mean to do that. But if you say it in a completely different tone, it sounds like an
Why would I
evil
do
person.
that?
Yeah. I love you. You're my best friend.
But it made me realize that, like, I didn't intend to kind of make that emotional aspect of it. But it is true, right? You don't allow them to kind of judge the situation in a vacuum, because you kind of bring in this like, well, if you don't accept this, that means you doubt my love for you. So you don't want to do that. And that did help. It does help me when I see people like call out things I've done in other contexts, like other people do it. And it's like, oh, well, they don't like that, so I shouldn't do it. It's definitely a little harder when you're in the moment and they say to you, hey, that's not cool, because like you're already emotionally charged, and it is sometimes hard to kind of simmer things down. But when I see it in other situations play out in front of me with other people, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's not cool. Which I think is a lesson a lot of guys have to go through, and I've been through quite a few of them. I don't think I've ever gaslighted a girl on purpose, okay, or I'm accidentally. Emotionally unavailable, emotionally distant. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Rash, 100%. But gaslighting feels like I'm trying to trick the girl.
Would you ever consider yourself at any point toxic?
Toxic? What does it mean to be toxic?
The answer is yes.
What? Like, toxic can range in so many. I've been in toxic relationships where I 100% contributed to the toxicity. Yes, very much so.
Just say yes that you've been toxic.
What does it mean to be toxic? It's such a open definition.
Growth is accountability.
I've been toxic, but for me, I kind of would like breaking down like what actions are considered toxic. Because toxic can mean anything. Like people say, is beating your wife toxic? Yeah, definitely.
Christ.
Okay, there's a range of the word toxic. I never beat any of my girlfriend.
I've been toxic. In my first relationship, I used to hang up on my boyfriend all the time because I was upset and I wanted him to chase after me, and I would hang up.
That's pretty toxic. What are you, 12?
I was 16.
Yeah. I mean, that's understandable. That's like teenage girl shit.
Yeah. Well, I've been also toxic in my later ones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like what?
Okay. So I have like a lot of patience in the beginning. I have healthy relationship, and then if I am with someone who also has toxic tendencies, I can eventually, my patience will be whittled down and I will match the toxicity, or I will just be as whatever yappy back because I'm being snarky at that point. There's someone I was seeing where I was extremely patient in the beginning, and I'd come out of a very healthy relationship. So everything that I felt like whenever we had conflicts, I would talk about it in this tone where it's just a very nice tone. I try not to offend them. I try to convey how I feel and let them know, like, I know they may not be trying to make me feel that way, but that's just how it felt at the time, et cetera, et cetera. And when none of this works over time, or when I'm being kind of whittled down, then that's when I had the toxic tendencies come out. I might not be patient right away. I might not be saying it in the best way, and I'm starting to get snarky. And that's how I view as toxic. Yeah, because that's not how I normally like to do things, but I'm matching their energy because I'm tired of not having it reciprocated.
Yeah, I think when a relationship kind of deteriorates, it gets harder and harder to like pull it back up, because like you said, it's feeding off each other's energy, and they're not feeling it. Well, I'm not going to feel it too. And it's really hard sometimes to be the bigger person to try and like save it, when the other person just seems like, well, I'm not gonna like commit with you.
Like, it felt or it's just exhausting because you have Like for me, I've bitten my tongue so many times. I know very well I could say something that's mean, or I know I could say something that could hurt their feelings, or that will only make the situation worse, not better. And so many times I've not said a lot of things that cross my mind or that I could say when I'm angry, and I instead choose like the higher ground or try to be nice. But then it's really discouraging when you see them just say it so carelessly and not think about that either. So it's like,
Also, I would say my toxic trait is I go really quiet in a relationship when I'm upset, and I don't really vocalize what's wrong, and then it kind of,
you Stonewall.
yeah, it becomes a little uncomfortable, and I feel uncomfortable sharing my feelings. But I was once in a relationship where that wasn't really the case, and it felt really nice to be able to say, hey, this bothered me. I didn't know you didn't mean it. And then we talked about it, and it's like we move on, and it was great.
When you stonewalled, did you ever feel it was like either as punishment, or were you trying to like gather your thoughts on how to say that you were upset?
For me, it's not punishment. I don't know how to tell you that I'm upset, because I fear that the conversation that results from that would actually make me feel worse. Like, let's say I'm upset that you said this, and if your response was to be, well, you shouldn't be upset about that, like something that I feel like would make me feel worse, then it's also not a conversation I want to have. But I also want to let you know that I'm not happy. So it's kind of this weird, like, I'm gonna signal I'm upset by becoming quiet, and I hope that it can let you know that I'm upset and we can talk about it. But I'm afraid to talk about it because I just worry how it's gonna go. But I think that's also a result of the relationship status. If I feel like, if I brought up a negative feeling, it's going to go south. So it's better for me to not bring up that feeling at all. And I think if I'm in a more secure state, I would be able to bring up like, this bothered me. And regardless of the outcome, like ideally you want a good outcome, that I would be able to accept it. It's like, that didn't go the way I like, but it's okay. At least I got to express myself. Because right now the worst situation is like, I'm just this Stonewall, cloudy, sad guy, and it's not helping the situation. I think it's a mix of both, being in an environment where I feel safe to express those feelings, but also an environment where I feel like secure and confident in myself, that when something bad happens, like, hey.
Do you think you're good at doing the same when someone goes to you with a problem and then you're like the other end of that?
Generally, yes. At least I like to think so. In relationships, when someone said I did something wrong, I think my priority is always like, hey, I'm really sorry. And this was a lesson I had to learn over like a couple of relationships, where first priority is like making sure their feelings are heard. Whether I necessarily agree with it doesn't matter as much, right? Because at the end of the day, I love this person, and the fact that their feelings are heard is the thing I want to address first. I'm not necessarily like, you have a right to be upset or a right to not be upset about things. I think I do way better in friendships when it comes to being emotionally supportive, or just being more grounded. And it also took a long time to learn. Like one thing you mentioned, like going to a friend and being able to say, this bothered me, or listening to them vent about something. Lily actually taught me this the most, because there was one time, me and Lily, we hang out a lot, and one time she was late for something, right? And I didn't mention anything. It's like, okay, she's not often late, but she was late for this one thing. And this was like 5 years ago. And then a week later, she was venting to me about her friends. Like, oh, yeah, I planned this thing with my friend and she was late. And then I Looking back, it's like, oh man, you shouldn't have done that. But I said, well, I mean, you were late that one time last week. And she was just like, why are you bringing that up? I'm trying to vent to you and now I don't want to talk to you. Which is, it's like a really fair thing to say. Like, yeah, maybe she was late then, but she's venting to me because she felt like, you know, it's safe to talk to a friend about frustration they have.
Yeah.
And the first opportunity I got was like, well, this is one time you did something wrong. And that's when it kind of like, yeah, no, she's right. I kind of, if I had a problem with her being late, I should have just mentioned it in a separate context, right? And not then.
I'm sure it's extra upsetting because she is not normally late.
Yeah, she's not normally
So
late.
then it like if this was a thing, you know, and
Yeah.
she's complaining about it. Yeah. Sometimes you do poke sore things.
I am getting better, okay? Look, if the world ran on logic, I think I would be fine. But I would like to think over the years, as time goes on, I get better and better with experience, and I don't often repeat the mistakes I make.
Sometimes okay, if the world was ran on logic, but the thing is, it is also from the lens of how you perceive things. So it's logical in your eyes, but it's not technically logical, even if it like logical for everybody. It's not even just like a feelings thing though, right?
When
'Cause,
I
like,
s- okay. Okay,
Like
hey,
think
go ahead.
about the stuff that you learn now compared to like years ago. And back then you would have been like, I run on logic. You think it's the same now where like after everything that you've learned through the years, you just be like, yeah, back then I was logical.
I mean, are you talking logical when it comes to emotional and feeling in relationships? Because I think that kind of logic is very fluid. Yes.
I think it's kind of all together because to be logical at times, you have to you can consider everything. And then you make a logical decision considering everything.
I agree. I think the definition of what is logical for me has changed over the years. Like, I would say first 4 years of Toast, logical is like who was objectively like, if this was in a court of law, who would be the most correct logical. But nowadays my logical is like, okay, what is gonna make everyone the happiest and walk away with the least amount of like bad feelings, which isn't necessarily what would hold up in a court of law. I think I have the most perspective is when I see logical guys younger than me, also in like early mid-20s, kind of go through what I went through where they're being really logical about something, and I'm just watching this
Play out.
I'm like, the right thing here would be to not push this at this moment and kind of like have a nicer conversation after.
Yeah.
But I can see their brain think it's like, no, I'm right. And they get very emotional too. Like, it's funny, the most logical people also have the most emotional outbursts because it's just so contained that when it comes out, it's like boom. And so it's like, whoa.
I was talking to a guy I was seeing about this where we had a lot of conflict. And I said, you only start simmering down when it starts making sense to you. In the beginning, when you hear it, if you don't make a logical connection with it, you are fighting to the freaking end of the earth with me. And I just said, why does it that like you feeling like I have to be right in some way make it for you to calm down? Like, why can't you just accept that, oh, my feelings are hurt, take care of me first, and then we could talk about anything after?
Yeah, I think guys just, when they hurt someone, they feel really bad. And the only way to counteract that bad feeling is to try and justify it. No, like, I didn't hurt you, or like, I didn't mean it, right? So, because they don't want to feel like they did something wrong. Not because they want to be right or wrong. It's because like it just feels really bad. But as a result, they kind of can't accept. Like, it's okay to accidentally hurt someone's feeling. Like, you know, like, it's fine to not mean it, but you will say stuff. Like, you hang out with someone 24/7 and you guys are going on dates, you're going to say something, you're going to do something to hurt others people's feelings. It's inevitable, right? It's what you do about it after that matters.
Yeah, I think you just have to be comfortable and trust knowing that sometimes it will be you and sometimes it will be them. And you trust that the other person will be receptive when you bring it up. Because if you're not receptive, I think a lot of it is just how would you want the situation to play out if it were reverse? And I think I'm just so sick of telling somebody, like, think about it in my shoes. Like, how would you want someone to apologize to you? How would you want someone to take accountability, etc.? Like, what words would you want to hear? Would you want to hear, I'm sorry you feel that way, instead of, I'm sorry, I love you. I did not realize that was how I made you feel, etc., etc. Like, I'll be more mindful. Versus, I would never.
Have you ever done a friendship breakup? I did it once, and I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But she started crying, and then she never talked to me again until 4 years later, and she sent me a Facebook message. This was before I became a streamer. She only reached out when she wanted something from me, and whether or not that was true, because honestly, I was not very well adjusted to human interactions back then. I just felt like, well, I don't really get anything from being your friend, because you just kind of hit me up when you need something. So I broke up with her friendship wise at a mall, and I said, hey, I don't think I want to continue our friendship. And no, she didn't take it. Well, I mean, she took it okay. She cried and then left. But yeah, I have friendship broke up with someone.
I have also. Some were just drifting away. I think you just stopped talking to each other. And then some, I think there might have just been one, but I don't know if there's more. No. Oh no, I've done a couple of friendship breakups, but I think most of them were healthier, and then one of them spiraled. But the one that I felt like was healthier was, someone had hurt me a lot, and then he would try to message me again occasionally, and I just I can't still be friends with you after this, or I need a break. And I remember Scar telling me, he was just like, you should block him, because he should not have easy access to you like that. And so I just blocked them.
I will say it is harder to. Well, we don't do friendship breakup these days, especially as streamers, because it's really uncomfortable, I imagine. I feel like if you don't want to be friends with someone, you just stop hanging out with them. You don't have to say anything. There's no official friendship breakup anymore, which I think is the way things should be done, instead of having a whole. Someone who did a friendship breakup, bro, just stop hanging out with them. Just say sorry, I'm busy.
Okay, before we finish, we should do a little Hinge update.
We've been yapping a lot. Yvonne, don't think I forgot. Okay, thank you, Chelsea. You were trying to stall out the time, huh?
I wasn't trying to stall out the time. We were just having a great conversation.
The weekly Yvonne dating update needs to be had. So last week, I made a Hinge profile for Yvonne to find her the man of her dreams. And me, with my ingeniosity, used a Freyren cosplay anime picture as her profile picture, because I believe that men needs easy hooks. And I gave her 3 pretty good prompts as well. Humorous.
So he thinks.
Some would say. And I think I am attracting the right guy for you, because you care about humor. And I think this will allow people with a sense of humor to approach comfortably.
You might be very optimistic for the guys out there.
All right, let's see how many matches you got. So it's been a week. Hey, this whoa. Okay. No, it's so okay. So last week when I made the Freyren picture, profile picture, and I said, I guarantee you people will open with a reference to Himmel, who's Freyren's love interest in the anime.
No, but that's not.
The first match, did Himmel take this picture? Wait, see? He's a cool looking guy.
That's stupid, because if Himmel took this picture, would I be on a dating app? X.
That's it? That's all it took? You don't want to see his profile?
I just don't. You just have to. You have to read through these. Like I have.
Okay.
What did he say?
Not to get your hopes up. He's 6 feet tall.
Shut up.
Hang on. He likes matcha. Playing pickleball. Nice hikes. Anime and trying. Wait. This might be your guy, man.
Wow, is that easy?
Okay, so what's the rule here? Can I match for you? Can I mess? Do I want to?
You
want me to reply for you?
do whatever the heck you want on that.
My strategy is I'll send a sexual message, and if
Stop.
they say, "Hey, I'm not about that," that's how you know you got a good one.
No, they're gonna banter back.
You don't know a thing about men.
I think I do.
Oh, this guy's funny. This guy's funny.
This
In one of
guy's
the
funny.
prompts, I said, "Hey, if we don't like each other, at least we only wasted $5 on coffee, right?"
Mm-hmm.
This guy said, "For you, I'd pay for $10 coffee."
Oh my god.
Bro, man, these men have so much riz out here. I didn't know I didn't know you had to be this charismatic.
That's crazy.
Yo, this guy looks jacked.
Does he know that $10 coffee is the average now in LA? Almost.
Hey, look. Not bad. Ooh, he's 5'5".
You're so.
Don't worry, Yvonne. I'll take care of this. Wipe. Sorry.
This is so demoralizing. It's crazy. But I just want you to see what's out there and what you think your great prompts were.
Oh, one of the prompts is I need an Instagram boyfriend. This guy says, "I got you, girl. I love being behind a camera. Just don't put me in front of it." And his profile picture is him taking a fancy picture with the DSLR camera. He plays the piano.
He's more excited than I am.
Ooh.
There's always a ooh. What's the ooh, huh?
He's 27.
Yeah,
That's okay, right? You like him young?
You're the one who set up your age range. Yeah. See, now he's starting to experience the ooh.
But he likes escape rooms, which I love. So him and I will get along. I should be choosing a date for you based on how well I would get along with him.
That is so troll. Please do not do that.
Oh, see, this is bad. Look at this. He opens with this kind of picture.
He just liked it?
No, like his picture.
Oh,
you don't see his face.
Yeah.
You have to pay $39 a month just to see who likes you? What? How do you know if you want to match with them?
You have to X through them all, I think.
Wait. They're trying to scam people out here. Also, how do you have so much likes? This is 50 plus.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to say. Honestly, that is a lot considering you made me look like a huge weeb.
How do men get dates on dating app? It's like going to a barrel and this one fish and 20 fishermen around this one barrel. Like, it's such a disadvantage, right?
Yeah, just
Pay
pay to be the fisherman that goes premium fisherman. Who
But
goes first?
Even then, I don't think that really matters. Like, it only just
doesn't.
bumps your profile to the top.
So my logic is if you spend $10 on a coffee date, which you probably will, why not spend a little bit on a dating app?
Wow, Chelsea is
But
such
you
a
don't
great
get
dating app
any
saleswoman.
Benefit as a guy, even if you are premium, right? You don't get any benefit as the guy if you're...
No, you do. Your profile, she just said your profile gets bumped.
But you still need to be a good
Product. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no helping that you're only like jumping to the front of the line.
yeah.
If you're trash, you're kind of like next.
Yeah. I mean, that's like dating in general. You're like trying to present yourself as the best option.
Yeah. When you said pay for it, I'm like an escort.
What?
Dude,
Do you want to just pay for it so you could see them all?
I can do it one by one. I didn't know you had to X them out.
Yeah.
So you see the rose? That means she's someone's top pick.
Yeah, no, I see some roses for some of these. Like the men
Oh.
gave you a rose.
Yeah.
Hinge gives each user 1 rose a day to send for a standout person.
Oh, I really like you. Do you think that will sway you if a guy indicates to you, yeah, I paid $10 for this rose?
No.
Yeah, because it's about the guy at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
I want him to experience the ick through reading the profiles.
Ooh, sorry, this guy's just ugly.
What the?
Bro, like, of course girls would try. Okay, this guy's just like the photo. Say something, you fuck. The competition is so high. You think you can get away with liking a photo and expecting a response? Looking like that? Fuck you. That actually pisses me off. Guys who just like photos. It's like, yeah, did all I could do. Like, okay. Unless you look like Ryan Gosling or Brad Pitt, liking photos ain't gonna work, okay? If you're a 7, even to an 8, I would say there's so much 7 and 8s guys fighting for the same girls, okay? Just come on. Let's
Yeah, tell them.
let's put in some effort. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh man, I think this is my first himbo where the guy looks really handsome and looks fit, but red flags. He only liked the photo, so he's not putting in any effort. And his prompts are like, I'm looking for, let's vibe. First round on me if we go out. What if I told you I like musicals? I can see what girls mean now. Like, you can be hot, but it doesn't really matter
It's
that much.
Giving nothing.
It's giving nothing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're kind of an empty, like, shell.
I have heard that I think girls look at the overall profile more than guys do.
Yeah, because first thing is like, oh, he's attractive. But sorry.
Yeah, that was only in the first photo, maybe.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like the more
you scroll,
see,
it's
like the more of him you see in terms of like what his character is, it's like that's what I was saying. But then it's like, okay, this is crazy because if they have like one line or just a couple words in their prompt, it makes me want to press X right now because like you can't put in an effort on your dating profile. How do I know you're gonna put an effort for me?
yeah. I feel like he's acting as if he's gonna date them.
Okay, well, this guy doesn't have. Ooh, but his opening line sucks. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. He's not Asian.
What the hell?
No. Oh my God, Yvonne. I'm so sorry that these are your dating options. There's some really old men on here too.
This is the accurate dating pool in LA.
This guy's pictures are all taken from a mile away, so you know he's ugly up close too.
Dude, this is crazy.
This guy say, "Oh, is this actually you, Yvonne?"
Yeah, actually, I went fast.
Liked your photo. Liked your photo. Liked your photo. Liked your photo. Liked your answer. Cool character. Well, who's the character, huh? This guy's pretending like he knows anime.
He's doing his best. You put the anime
Wanna
photo
get
as
some
the first one.
matcha? Come on.
That was fine.
That's no, it's not. It's not. I need more. Like, great, you picked out one word I said on my profile. Any monkey can do that.
Oh my god.
Shirtless pig, bro? You ain't even that jacked. This is embarrassing, man. Ain't nobody wants to see that.
So when I tell you, I feel like there are many great girls out there in comparison to, you know what I mean. It'll be an easier time for you.
Yvonne, you know how much I love and care about you.
Uh-huh.
Because I would want you to be with a good man, a man that will take care of you, a man that I can see getting along with. And they're oh God,
What did you write? There's a whole paragraph.
I'm more upset for you that you have to pick from these men. I'm so sorry. This podcast episode has made me realize I have judged you too harshly.
Yeah, every time when you're like, hey, dating anybody yet? Every single week, I'm just like, looks and sighs. Yeah, it's not.
I think, bro, I think the same men would be liking these profiles. I don't think there's any guy who saw the favorite picture and swiped left because of it.
Really? I think so.
So there's still like this. Oh my God, this guy just wrote Taiwan #1.
No way. What is this? Your profile? Maybe they know. Maybe they know it's you.
Well, it's because it's a picture of you in Taiwan.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to let this simmer a little more because I don't like any of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what I expected, actually. I just was excited for you to experience it. I
didn't know how, like, it's not that the guys are bad or anything, but...
Really?
It's, well, I think a lot of them, you just can't get to know them, right? You just have to make this snap judgment of like, okay, here's picture, here's four lines, yes or no. And there's just so much of it. I think that's the thing that freaks me out. It's like, whoa, there's like 200 of you, and I gotta pick a few to have a conversation with. So I just don't like dating apps. I just think they're not. The feeling is just not good, and they're like the conversations just feel boring from what I've experienced, and I just think I would much rather meet somebody in the wilderness. You want to let it cook some more or what? Yeah, I'll let it cook some more. It's fun though. It also helps. It definitely helps me have perspective on like how many dudes are out there in this world. Wait, you didn't even click through all of them? It says 50 plus left still. I've pressed X like 70 times. I have to look through 70 men's profiles. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. You might just die alone. Yeah. I mean, like, I just... Jody walked by and just had to hear you say that to me. Honestly, I've thought about it. I've thought about if I just die alone and I just have Somi and like, or other cats and stuff around me and just have company in that way, that'd be okay too. Like, I'll be there when you die. Yeah, as you should. Yeah, like at my funeral. Yeah. I want you to know you won't be alone. Like, you'll have friends. Me, Scarlett, Lily will all be there. Okay. Yeah. Like, I'm dying earlier than all of you? If you die earlier than you. Okay. And that could be a very real possibility. Okay. You'd have to pay for the funeral fees. Why do I pay for it? Who else is going to pay for it for me if I don't have anybody? Why not Scara? Yeah, somebody. Somebody takes the hit. Are you okay with cremation? Am I okay with cremation? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I never thought about what I wanted to do with my body after it dies or after I'm gone. Yeah, we'll take care of you, Yvonne. Okay. If you end up dying alone. Yeah, you can make it kind of like a party, like celebrate. Oh, one of us will be celebrating. Yeah, Yvonne, thanks for sharing today. I feel like I learned a lot about you, and I've definitely been not as nice as I should have been. Good. But when we come back next week, we're starting with a clean slate. Clean slate. Let's turn over a new leaf. This is why I hate you. Let's turn over a new leaf, Yvonne. Let's start a new chapter of our friendship where we over-communicate with each other and commit to building the foundation of a new friendship together. I have no idea what the fuck that's going to mean. It's okay. I just would like to know if you're willing to do that with me. Yes. But I feel like you're not going to uphold that. Hey, I will try my best. I'm committed to this. So starting next week, me and Yvonne, we're going to be best friends and not say anything or do anything to upset the other. And if we do, we can acknowledge our mistakes, talk about it, and come out stronger. Thank you all for joining us this week. We'll see you next time.